and then he hit a snag. MIT was impressed by his spirit, but they couldn't offer him admission without a letter from an Indian authority confirming his disability. You see, they couldn't risk any complications. However, it was not possible for Srikanth to go to the local authorities because he was completely blind. The lawyer took his case pro bono, which means she didn't charge him a single rupee, because she believed in his story. That's how Srikanth got his documents, and soon he was on a flight to America. But here's a twist. On his arrival, MIT put him up in a hotel and sent him to orientation programs for international students. All seemed well. But something bothered Srikanth. He sensed MIT hadn't really expected him to show up. Turns out the university didn't have facilities for visually impaired students. Braille books, talking books, or screen readers were nowhere to be seen. Undeterred, Srikanth contacted the professor who had interviewed him, Professor Sanjay Sarma. This professor was a legend. He built MIT's open courseware program, which offers free access to course materials online. And he was excited to have Srikanth. So he immediately arranged for everything, including transcribing notes, textbooks, and course materials. Yet the real test was in class. But he could see the subject matter, the knowledge itself. Professor Sarma ensured that classmates helped him with directions around campus, making sure Srikanth didn't feel isolated. To tackle this problem, he also encouraged all the students to get audio notes. Soon, Srikanth's classmates were recording lectures on audio cassettes. Srikanth listened to these recordings while sitting on the floor next to his bed. He also used a Braille machine to write his answers during tests. He attended all the classes and participated actively. After 6 months, he finished his coursework. I'll be back at how much he had grown. But something troubled him. Would he get a job? Most of his classmates were already placed in prestigious companies. What about him? Well, the answer came during the Institute's career fair. A team from Microsoft approached Srikanth, offering him a job. He hesitated. After all, he was blind. Why would they hire him? He asked them point blank. The answer was simple. Srikanth's passion and hard work had impressed them. He was among the top in his program. So they hired him as a full-time research assistant in their Human Adaptive Technology Center. He even received an offer from Goldman Sachs, but he chose Microsoft. Now, imagine that. Srikanth's journey from a village in India to working at Microsoft was marked by many challenges. But he cleared them all with his hard work and positive attitude. And guess what? Today he holds over 15 patents in his name, more than some big companies. Now, many of you might think that Srikanth's story is purely about him conquering his blindness. But we believe his story is a mirror reflecting our society's lack of preparation for visually impaired individuals. He had to fight countless battles, not just against his own struggles, but also to convince institutions to accommodate him. Let's take a look at his experience. We all know that IITs are India's premier technical institutions. Getting in is like hitting the jackpot. But what happens when a visually impaired student enters these hallowed halls? Well, initially it was smooth sailing. Professors like Dr. Partha Pradam Das, they even purchased a Braille printer, although they couldn't arrange for Braille books right away. But you know what? This lack of preparation deeply affected Srikanth's confidence. He started questioning himself. Was he good enough? Or was he just getting special treatment? His self-confidence dipped until something happened that shook him to his core. One day, while attending a class on optimization theory, he noticed that fellow students often looked at him, whispering and pointing fingers. Their whispers reached Srikanth and filled him with doubts. Were they mocking him? Did they think he didn't belong? It was a tough pill to swallow. For the first time, he seriously considered dropping out. But he didn't do that. Instead, he pushed forward, trying to excel in his studies. Maybe if he proved himself academically, those whispers would fade away. But did they? No. During a placement interview, the HR made a shocking statement. These words stung Srikanth deeply. Here he was, a student of one of India's top engineering schools, and he was being judged solely on his disability. That incident changed him. It was as if a wall had been broken and the truth lay bare. He realized that the world wasn't ready to accept a blind person, let alone one from IIT. And that's when he decided to leave the institute. Now, you might wonder, why did he return to India? Srikanth dreamed of going abroad for higher education, but he couldn't bear the thought of being separated from his mother for so long. She was the backbone of his life, his strength, and he knew returning to India would mean continuing to receive her love and care. But another question remains. Why did he return to India? Was it because he had no other options? Or was there something more? Well, let's explore both aspects. First, let's talk about the reality of limited opportunities. Back in India, Srikanth was determined to make a difference. There was simply not many options for a blind person like him. Jobs were scarce, and societal attitudes were even worse. Then there's the emotional aspect. Srikanth missed his mother dearly. Staying abroad would have meant enduring homesickness and the agony of being away from his support system. Returning to India allowed him to stay close to his mother while pursuing his dreams. But here's the thing, the real reason behind his return lies in his mother's influence. Throughout his life, she had been his biggest cheerleader, sacrificing everything to give him the best start. When he told her about his plans to pursue higher education abroad, she didn't try to hold him back. Instead, she gave him her blessing. She knew that education abroad would expose him to diverse perspectives and experiences that would broaden his horizons. She understood that limiting him for the sake of familiarity would be doing him an injustice. She wanted her son to chase the stars, no matter how distant they seemed. When Srikanth returned to India, his mother's love and belief in him gave him the courage to face new challenges. With her by his side, he knew he could conquer any obstacle. But here's something truly inspiring. After settling in India, Srikanth didn't just focus on himself. He remembered the support he'd received from individuals like Professor Sarma and his mother. He realized that to make lasting change, he needed to become a catalyst for others. That's when the idea struck him. He would establish an institute dedicated to empowering the visually impaired, giving them the same opportunities he'd been fortunate to receive. Let's fast forward to today. Srikanth's Bollant Industries employs more than 1,000 people, most of whom are visually impaired. It's a testament to his vision and commitment to creating a more inclusive world. Now, his story raises a crucial question. In a world that often overlooks the abilities of the differently abled, how can we cultivate true Well, we believe that recognizing and appreciating the capabilities of individuals regardless of their physical abilities is essential. Moreover, creating a supportive environment that provides equal opportunities and resources empowers to thrive and contribute their unique talents to society. Now, we leave you with a thought. How can you ensure that everyone, regardless of their physical abilities, feels valued and included in society? Share your thoughts in the comments.